All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here so everybody can join in. 1 second. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. I hope everybody had good, good, good. Yeah, so it was quite a day today. So a little bit of chop, a little bit of grindy action, then a big push at the close, and then we'll take a look and see what the futures are doing here. But before we get started, well, today we're going to be talking about day trading, earnings season strategies. We're going to be continuing our discussion on that. Yesterday we talked about the 15 orb, so we'll review that a little bit today, but it's going to tie into a lot of what we're going to talk about today, which is pre-market. Right, so this is very, very important stuff for trading earnings, and really just trading anything too intraday. But all this stuff kind of ties together, especially on earnings when there's an increased volatility and there's a chance of a bigger move after the earnings come out, because there's increased volume, increased volatility. We could get some nice moves on that. So before we do that, though, everything we're going to talk about, as always, is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Okay, so we're going to check and see where we left off the market, and then we are going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to here tonight. And then we're going to go over the topic and then take questions and chart requests. So let's get started here. So SPX, boom, up 42 points today. So the month so far, nice and green, right, pushing up into the upper shadow of the prior month. So that's a good thing. Weekly chart, we still got a little bit of work to do. We've got a red Doji week so far, right? We've got 3 trading days left. We're kind of pushing off of this, what is appearing to have turned into a momentum hammer as we've kind of taken out those levels. We've already taken out this level high of this prior week, but it's still, it still hasn't been really cleared yet. So we're getting really close to there, and we got this nice open gap above. So we're going to see how that goes going here. So cool stuff though. Yesterday, we pushed above those prior highs of that weekly level. So what that did do is on the daily chart is it shifted our trend line over, right? So we're back to being bullish until proven otherwise. And today it was great, right? So the gap down today was definitely buyable using the trend line, right? It was a nice little bounce off the trend line there and give a nice move up, right? So it looks really, really clean on the daily chart, but not so much on the intraday. But we'll take a look at that here now and look at the price action of that. So remember yesterday, nasty, nasty pullback. But the theme of the year is V reversal, right? So we see that right here's a down move, right? V reversal, down move, V reversal. So buying the dip is still working as long as the Fed keeps on printing. So it is what it is. But today was pretty complex, especially at the open, right? It wasn't exactly an instant buy at the open. So we did have a nice little dip buy initially, right? And that gave us some strength. The Qs were really strong this morning, right? They really bought the dip really quickly and squeezed up on names like Apple, which members did well on this morning. Other names, AMD. So some really, really cool, really, really good moves really quick, right? And then we saw some fast pullbacks in that second 15 minutes right here. Boom. We just kind of pushed off of those 15 orb highs and came back down to the lows. Then we had a nice big inside 15, which consumed the lower shadow of the first candle, and then we pushed our way up for a nice move. And then we had this kind of grindy sideways action for a while. Made it really, really challenging, but it ultimately turned into a bull flag type move, right? We broke out of there, a couple little pauses, and then boom, huge MOC at the close, and a big rally into the close today as we pushed into a lot of these sell zones. So the cool part is there weren't a lot of key levels here to work with, so it really gave us a nice push through there. So speaking of levels, these are levels that we provide to our members before each market opens. You can see here how nice this is. We like when there's nice space between levels, and this gave us a nice move at the close because we finally got over all this congestion, right? You see how tight these levels were all day. So testing levels up here, testing levels, try to go down, nope, back up, testing levels, and then boom, we break out right here. This is such a great candle right here, this one today. Just a fantastic move because that gave great moves. Options on the SPYs, I think we were looking at the 317 calls at the close today. Went from about $2.36 all the way up to over $3. So that was a nice move at the close today. One of the best moves of the day, right at the end of the day. So a lot of grindy action, right? This is tough. This is some tough stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that keeps us out of this, while we chop. But we did catch some nice moves intraday today, and that gave us you had to wait all day for it. It's all about patience paying, right? Patience pays, so we got that nice move at the end of the day there, so that's good. All right, well, let's take a look at the futures and see how they're looking this evening and what we might have in store for overnight and into tomorrow. So futures up pretty decent, right? So futures up 26 points with that big gap up here. So why the huge gap here today? Well, looks like they've found another cure for corona. Same old story over and over again. So mRNA, we'll just go ahead and look at that right now. So mRNA, huge move. We actually looked at swinging this into the close. I think some members may even have this. But we looked at this because we like the daily chart here. right? So it was a nice breakout candle out of this big geometric line, right? Big triangle breakout, right? Good move with volume. Pause day, a couple days ago on Friday. Big candle yesterday. It's kind of tricky because of the upper shadow, but I love how we closed with this pause day here today in that upper shadow, and then boom, we got to move up here after hours. That's really, really strong as they got a nice verification or good press on their corona cure vaccine type stuff. So we'll see how that goes into tomorrow. So pretty interesting right there. So that definitely gave the market a boost, and then anything that was affected by corona really started going up after hours pretty significantly. Like we have the UAL, right? Any of the airlines were looking really good today. Even I think even DAL, which had horrible earnings today. Speaking of earnings, right, had a big spike up today. And CCL, right, the cruise lines, all this stuff that just gets just decimated. And in fact, just about everything's up after hours. But these ones really spiked really, really high on that news. So pretty amazing how that all tied together after hours today. But anyway, so we'll take a look at the futures. So futures right now on the S&P are it's kind of chopping right here. So we're basically coming back to the scene of the breakdown from Monday, and we're kind of testing it up in these levels right here, but we cleared the drop zone right here, so we're kind of holding that here. We gapped above it, which is pretty strong, and now we're kind of between these two major levels here, this drop zone area, and then here, which is this prior momentum down move is kind of serving as support right now. So we'll see how this goes throughout the night. Let's get a trend line up here, just a geometric line up here, so we can kind of track that to see how that holds, and we'll go from there. So right now, again, it could be basically just a bull flag, bull pennant here to the upper trend line, and then we might get another push to the upside into tomorrow morning. So we're definitely gonna be tracking that going into that. So good stuff. All right. So that's the futures. So let's take a look and see what else we have in store. So we've got the topic today. So today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading earnings season strategies. So yesterday we talked about the 15 orb, right? So today we're going to be talking about pre-market. So we're going to be talking about the pre-market levels, which we've done some discussion in the past, but very, very important to remember on the intraday time frame. So let's take a look at JP Morgan today, right? So they had good earnings. They had a beat, right? And things were looking really good, right, pre-market. So the one thing that we wanted to evaluate today was our 15 orb strategy that we talked about, right? So we didn't get any sort of gap and go stuff, right? We're still stuck in this big triangle right here. We didn't, they had good earnings, but they didn't have blowout earnings, right? We gapped up above this major pivot level. We had a gap and go, right? And they didn't have, horrible earnings either. We didn't get above those. So we're kind of still stuck in the triangle, right? So that's one indication that, hey, maybe this thing's really not going to get too much steam, right? And then simultaneously, right, we look at the 15 orb, right? So that's your initial 15-minute bar right here, right? So if you kind of look at that, here's your 15-minute bar, and it does, several key levels. So one of the things we look at are 15 orb breaks, right? And we talked about yesterday, well, okay, yeah, so this broke out right here. Maybe we get a little scalpy type move off of it, but another thing we want to see is confirmation, right? We need to see follow through, right? So here we got a good breakout candle on this one with good volume that got us out of the 15 orb, but did we ever pass above that? No. So when you go to those lower time frames to look for entries, it didn't give you anything, right? In fact, it just kind of gave you an inside 15 and worked its way down, and it chopped for the rest of the day. So why? Why didn't it work? Why did such a strong candle not move? Well, that's what today is about, right? So today we look at our pre-market levels. So in order for a stock on earnings or really any other time to really get going, right? We need to clear key price points. And one of the major key price points, especially on earnings, especially if you get crazy moves pre-market, are those pre-market levels, right? And you can see, look at all the gobbledygook that it's going in here. We didn't even clear this pivot level from pre-market, right? So that's a big deal, right? So we do want to clear that, right? If we had a nice move right here and we pushed above that level with some volume, yeah, we could have looked to have traded it up to this next level up here, right? But we never cleared those levels. And in fact, we had such a huge pre-market zone that, I mean, it was just so high, right? It would have taken a lot of strength to get up to these levels up here. So that's why we see chops. So a lot of times we do see this after earnings. Tomorrow will be an interesting one. Continue to keep an eye on JP Morgan and the banks. Goldman Sachs is reporting tomorrow. We may have a nice move off of a potential 30-minute orb trade where we look at the 30 orbs on day 2, the 30-minute candles. Okay. So really good stuff. That's important. And then of course we had the after hours levels right here too, which we only got a lower shadow off of it here today. So very important to look at that. Let's take a look at one more of the head earnings today. Let's look at Wells Fargo. Okay, so Wells Fargo is one we shorted this at the open. Why did we short this one at the open? Because we lost the pre-market levels. So this was a good attempt. We didn't do the 15 orb. We didn't wait for the first 15 minutes to conclude. Right? We just we liked how it broke down below these levels right here, and these levels right here, and we caught a fast momentum move through those levels to give us a nice push. We thought we'd get a little bit more downside at the time, right when you saw the market was pulling back a little bit, and some of the Qs were pulling back. Well, some of the Qs were rallying, but with these, right, we started to see a little bit of pullback right here, and we tried to catch a little more momentum just in case the market wanted to continue yesterday's sentiment to the downside. So they missed, right? So Wells Fargo was a miss everywhere. So this was an opportunity to try to take advantage of that, and then it pushed down here. And then we'll talk later this week about reversal opportunities. But right now, just right there, that straight momentum move through those pre-market levels gave a nice move. I think it was like a 10 to 20% move really quickly off of that one, depending on which strike you're trading on that. So still a good trade. But anyway, lots of chop on these today on the banks, and interesting here to see Wells Fargo even after all that up a little bit after hours. So definitely something we're going to be tracking going into tomorrow too. So Goldman Sachs reports tomorrow, UNH reports tomorrow. Those two of the big ones. Dow was really strong today, so that helped UNH, right? And Goldman Sachs, let's see how it does, right? See if it can continue its maybe do a little bit better than some of the other banks right here. The one thing I do like about Goldman Sachs is it's already, because of today's price action, right? It's already kind of sort of breaking out a little bit right here, right? We had a nice little high volume candle before earnings. Pause day, nice move here. So if we get a good move on earnings, who knows? Maybe we could get above this pivot level tomorrow, which is about 222, 223, right? If we get above that, we get an open gap up here, which could be an interesting target on Goldman Sachs for tomorrow. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. So good stuff. Well, I hope you guys found that helpful. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to play those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley sent in a few via email, so let's take a look at those and see how those are looking here. So let's see. So we got Mickey D's. All right, well, Mickey D's giving it another try right here. I'd say we saw a lot of epic reversals. The Dow was strong today. McDonald's on the Dow, so it's a nice move right there. Good bounce of the 50-day moving average. Got to break out of the cloud. Good volume on this one, so let's see if that can continue to hold off of these Geo lines right here. Maybe we could push up, test this level, and the 200-day on McDonald's. That could be interesting. GIS. All right, so let's see how that's looking here. So yeah, so General Mills, again, these consumer staples have been pretty strong recently. So nice move over here. This got a good move off of the Geo line the other day. Good breakout candle right here off of the Geo line. Right, we got a kind of a crazy pause day yesterday, but it did not push below that shooting star, right? And really worked its way to reclaim those levels today with relatively okay volume, a little bit less volume today, but nice move on that. Continuing to be bullish until proven otherwise with the upper trend line. UNH earnings tomorrow. This should be pretty interesting. If they have huge earnings, we could see a potential gap and go on UNH tomorrow. So if we gap over 315, what do we want to look for after that? We talk about this a lot anyway, whether it's earnings or not, but we want to make sure it clears whatever its pre-market levels are, right? So once we can get above those levels like we did here today, right, got a nice move up. So let's see if UNH can, if they crush on earnings, right, maybe we'll get a nice gap and go on that one tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye on that. Lowe's. Hanging in there, yeah, nice little dip buy on that one. Amazing to see it from $60 all the way, like doubled since that V reversal high right there. But yeah, so been bullish until proven otherwise and still holding its upward trend line. And then PPG. Hanging in there, yes, this is looking okay. I mean, we got a nice push over the 200-day, not a lot of volume on it. We got this geometric level right here. We got this bump line right here, right? And then, however you want to look at it, like this, we're kind of running into a little bit of resistance. So let's see if we get a little strength and get above those. Got earnings coming up on that pretty soon. So good stuff there. Andrew, what's going on? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. NVIDIA, let's take a look. Yeah, so NVIDIA, nice dip by here, right? Pushed quickly this morning below the 8-day, right? But still holding its upward trend line. But we were looking for, remember, recently we were looking for a pullback to that trend line and decided to do it before there. But decent day today, good volume as it continues to work its way up. So let's see if we can get some follow through in that one. And everything seems to be bullish so far going into tomorrow. Of course, I think it could change overnight. LRN. So this was we looked at trading this one today. This was a Citron. Tweet Citron like here today. So good push on that one. Just I don't think there were any options available on this one today, but it did get some good volume. We got a nice push to the upside here, kind of drifting down a little bit after hours. So just see if you can get these crazy upper shadows are tough. See if you can get a push over those highs, or see if you do something like what Moderna did, mRNA, and give you like a doji up there tomorrow in the upper end of that range. So good there. And then work, let's take a look here. So work, a little bit of crazy price action day too. Had a nasty candle, some harsh follow through the downside this morning, right? So big move down this morning. Then it came back into its 15-hour range and just kind of chopped around for the rest of the day. So it's kind of in the chop zone. It's got a gap above. We're kind of messing around the cloud right here. We're still in this gobbledygook of chop on work. But let's continue to watch and see if we can break out above and get above those highs eventually and start to fill that gap and finish filling that gap. Good stuff. ZEK, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Penn, let's take a look. So PENN, Penn National Gaming. So a little bit of strength on some of these names here today. I mean, amazing with the increased cases and all that stuff going into today. But let's take a look here and see how it's behaving after market. Yeah, again, casinos, all this stuff that's affected by Corona here with that Moderna potential cure or whatever is giving these a lot of oomph after market, right? So we got that going on there. J&J. Decent push up there today. It looks like it's trying to get out of this channel here finally. So we got, of course, it's right before earnings, right? But it's trying to make a little bit of a run right here, a little earnings run. So kind of a huge bull flag. We'll see how that ends up carrying out on Johnson & Johnson. HBI. Hanesbrands, lots of call activity on this one today. Huge volume on it. They ended up bringing it all the way up to the 200-day. Really choppy, though, and then made a little bit of a push here, a little bit of choppy action right there, and then gave that push. So it ended up with that hammer on the daily at the 200-day. So just be careful, the 200 is potential resistance. GRWG. Nasty spinning top on that one, and I'm not saying it's reversal, it's just having a little bit of trouble getting over some prior highs. So that gave you a big pivot level here to work with here today, so just see how that holds. See if we can get above that. And what else? STM. Yeah, this thing is on fire. So huge volume today. I mean, there's two things that's a little bit tough on this one, right? So, ADR, that makes it tough to trade, so you get a lot of gaps in it, but there is a lot of volume coming to this one on the call side on it. So I don't know if they're betting on this gap or whatever the case is, or they're trying to hold it through earnings, but definitely something to keep an eye on right here. Maybe some news is going to be on the way, maybe even before earnings. So just kind of keep an eye on that one. Huge call activity on that one. FNKO. Funko. Nice. Yeah, good candle on this one today. So that's a good break out of here. Right? So let's see if we can get follow through on this one. Yeah, wow, so pretty decent right there, too. Yeah, so broke out of a couple key geometric lines right here. Kind of a sideways cup and handle-ish pattern right here. Yeah, so definitely want to keep an eye on to see if we get some follow-through to the upside over today's highs. SMDC4S, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Ramesh, what's going on? FSLY, let's take a look. Yeah, FSLY, big push down. Nasty candle yesterday. We talked about last night. We said we could possibly see a momentum move through those levels, and we did, right? So it gave a nice move down this morning. Things were looking a little bit weak, right? Big pullback, more than a lot of the other ones, right? But then they bought the dip on that one, too. So, again, it's been really bullish, and it's hanging on to this congestion zone right here on FSLY. Good stuff. Bayside, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I got your message. I will get to it as soon as we're done with the live stream. So let's take a look here and see how that's going. So Apple, again, still holding its upward trend line right here. Nice bounce off the ADMA today. So let's see if that continues to work its way up. Facebook, again, decent hold here today. It's right at its ADMA, so this one's a little bit sketchy right here. It's got earnings coming up a little bit later. It's got some work to do, but it did hold one of the original upper trend line areas that we had right here. So, but again, that's one of the original. Here's the current one right here. So it's a little bit of a bounce off of that today with the rest of the guys, and then the rest of the stocks and guys and gals. So Boeing. Let's take a look here. So we got this. Right, so potential sideways head and shoulders in the works, but it did, guys. This is the kind of the key thing right here. You see this cloud cliff right here? We're really worried about that when we're getting there, because sometimes that can give you extra gravity and pull down here. So every down day was just like walking this tightrope, and it finally made it right here. So it kind of held that as a fresh geo line, and we got right to the cloud. So let's see if we can continue to hold that as support, maybe give a potential bounce one of these days soon. AMD bounced off the cloud today. It tested the scene of the breakout right here. Right, that was one of the most recent lines, right? So it also came back and tested the scene of the breakdown too, right? So I got a note on that earlier today. But yeah, bounced off the cloud right here and back over this geo line. So it's just kind of chopping around. So a little bit tough, but it does give some interesting. We like it the best in the morning if it gives a good setup. And then Walmart with a big inside day today. So this was here to see if these lines come up here. There's a geo line right here. Broke out the other day, came back, tested, there we go, and then bounced off today and left an inside day on that one. So see if that can break to the upside. Tomorrow gave a good opportunity in the group today too that one of our members pointed out. That was a nice one. So good stuff, good stuff. All right, so what else? SMDC4S, tell me you knew the SPY was going to ramp EOD. Well, there's a lot of reasons, right? So the market was strong, right? There was other indication the MOC was good, and some other clues too. I mean, right? So I mean, we already talked about it right here, right? So we as we were working our way up towards the end of the day, right? We had a couple nice geometric levels right here. We broke above it with volume, more volume coming in, and we had clear space, right? So the drop yesterday, all we had is a couple zones right here. This is a major drop zone right here. So there's your target. We didn't have any other targets, right? We had clear air once we got above these levels. Right, we cleared a geometric line right here, and we made a move. So the MOC is not the reason that it went up, but it helps because traders like to buy into that. But technically, the technical setup right here was the geometric breakout with volume. So the MOC is definitely part of it, but it's not the reason. Good. So Michael, what's going on? Moderna, I know mRNA like super strong. Super strong. Let's see how that holds up going into tomorrow. Very, very beautiful move right here, and we love the daily chart today. So we had a big move up here, pause day, and we're looking to get some breakthrough of that inside day to the upside here after yesterday's breakout move, and it's they did it after hours, which is pretty incredible. So that's definitely helping too. Very, very beautiful stuff. And then Caterpillar, how about this thing finally making a move, right? So a couple areas just to be concerned about, right? In terms of a potential swing, right? So if you go back here, right to these recent highs. So just be careful with that, right? It's running into a little geometric resistance right here. But a big push up today on this one. I don't even know if there's any like real news on this today. Yeah, U.S. stocks with Caterpillar close up. I mean, it was just strong today, right? So it had a couple interesting moves. It was triangulating for a little bit. We got a push out yesterday with some good volume, and once it took out those highs, right, we just got a nice move going through into today. So here's your levels right here. Strong, decent volume started to come in right here, right, and just kind of held its ADMA up for the rest of the day. Where's my ADMA? What happened to all these studies from yesterday? Let's get that ADMA back up there. Boom, ADMA all day. Look at that. Double inside 15 too, right at the ADMA, and then gave me a nice breakout for a little bit at the end of the day too. I know, super nice. And then Wriggle. Let's take a look. RIGL. All right, so yeah, nice consolidation there within the 15 orb range there today. So let's take a look and see. Again, daily chart, huge move though, right? Just epic, right? So big, almost over a double today. So big gap and go on this one. So definitely very interesting. And then GE. GE's kind of hanging in there, still just doing its little chop thing that it likes to do. So, ultimately, we'll see if we can get out of this geometric line right here, and then, got through with a little bit of volume. But let's see if we can get through the cloud with some volume on that one. But I wouldn't hold your breath. But you never know. You never know. Rocky, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Michael, yes, a docu reversal, epic. I know, yeah. A lot of these ones that had nasty moves yesterday, we talked about last night. We're like, all right, just relax a little bit, So it's a lot of these are still holding trend, right? So we still have this trend channel right here, like boom, bounced right off of the trend line there today, right? Piton. Piton got crushed yesterday, right? But look at that, right to its little geometric trend line right here. Boom, nice bounce off of that. So it's stuff, especially when volatility picks up, guys. These lines are so important. They're so important. Kim, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, great day today. Hope you did too. Yeah, let's take a look at VXRT. Yeah, this is a good one. So this is we talked about this yesterday, right? We said like, look, if this thing could clear these prior day's highs, right, we could get some momentum off of that, and then once it cleared that guy, it was game over, right? So have a nice day on VXRT. Very nice. And then Square. Yeah, Square with a decent little dip buy right here. Let's see if these levels come up right here. Yeah. So again, it was tricky. This was a little bit trickier. It didn't come to the trend line ultimately, right? So once it got above the upper trend line, you got a little bit of a move off of it. But again, it can be a tricky trader, but it is back above it there. So let's see how it goes on the bump line. And then PayPal. PayPal was interesting, right? So big breakdown yesterday. We drew the trend box yesterday. We talked about momentum move through those levels, right? We got that today, right? We gapped below it and we pushed, and then we came back into that zone. So all that does now is makes it more crazy, right? So we got a bigger trend box on PayPal. Yep, and then Piton, right? So Piton, a nice buy the dip there. It hit its like third bump line on that one. It gave a little bounce off of that one. A little pedal up on that. Cool one. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Michael, what's happened? INMD. Yeah, nice bounce here out of the cloud. Not a lot of volume on this one. It's kind of heading up into its very fresh and new 200-day moving average. So kind of see how that holds. Cortez, what's going on? Check. Let's take a look and see how that's going here today. So, not as nice a reversal as everything else. Again, it's had an epic run up, big earnings gap, came back down, defended that gap, worked its way up here. Kind of holding these areas right here. Just be careful with it, guys. I mean, this one right here, breakdown below today's lows, could still show some relative weakness on that one. And then LRN, again, nice move on that. I don't even think there's options available on this one, but a good Citron move today. Just see if that gets any follow through. Just keep an eye on the highs. Sometimes his stuff pulls back, though, so just be careful there, too. Jamos, yeah, good evening. So mRNA, hope you're doing well. So let's see, mRNA. All right, so inside day up prior, right? So big volume from yesterday, big upper shadow, right? We closed in the upper end of that range. So this is a nice little pause candle right here. Some folks can, right? This is what we call like a jack in the box, right? So some folks can do that and look for a move up, well, it did it, right? So just a big move up there. So again, right now it's at 87.15, so it's basically at its all-time highs. So this is definitely one to keep an eye on here. See how it holds those levels going into tomorrow, and then check its pre-market levels too. So it's should be in play again tomorrow. So pretty impressive stuff there. Spot. So that hung in there today a little bit too. They had some news too that they're starting to do business in Russia and like Kazakhstan and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes here. It got back in the this kind of horizontal flag type range, horizontal channel range right here today. So decent move back into the prior range. A lot of whoops reversals today if you look at it that way. And then and then FXI. China ETF, a little bit of a buy the dip on that one here, so could be interesting, right? So definitely more tension going on there. Seems to be rising there with the Huawei this morning, and then Trump did a press conference after hours, and so we just gotta talked about not doing any second deal with China, so definitely something to keep an eye on there. Very, very interesting. Then the XLF, of course, still hanging in there pretty well. JP Morgan good, Wells Fargo bad, Citi Financial good. Now we've got Goldman Sachs tomorrow, so that should be very, very interesting. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Cool. What's going on? LVGO. Good bounce off the 8-day today, so lots of recoveries here today, so that's good for some of these strong names here. So NVIDIA, let's take a look. NVIDIA is another good one too, bounce off the ADMA, so just got pushed down a little bit. Didn't quite tag its trend line, but it kind of got into that zone, right? It was really all about the SPX today with its trend line, and then everything else kind of moved up after that. Microsoft, again, nice buy the dip on that one too. This is one we looked at a short at the open. This was looking generally pretty weak. It had a nasty candle. I liked its distance to the trend line. This is one of those ones where you can short it, right, and then you go long after it hits that trend line, just trading off the daily chart itself on the intraday basis. It's cool stuff here. Yeah, my pleasure, Royal. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. D-Pen, what's happening? Hope you're well. Yeah, let's take a look. MA. So MasterCard, nice bounce there. Got over the 50-day and the 8-day and the cloud. And it got okay volume, not increased volume, but it's just hanging out right there at that triangle top. So see if we get a little more follow through the upside on that one. DPZ earnings coming up this week. So nice bounce off the 8-day after yesterday's shooting star candle. So let's see if they can try to give it a little bit of an earnings run. And then Visa. Another great card to pay with pizza with. So a bounce there off the cloud as well, and then back into that triangle range. So a little bit of blah on those, but maybe DPZ for some potential earnings action. Royal, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great day too. Yeah, let's take a look at Roku. So Roku is kind of like Walmart, very, very similar in its price action type concept today. So we pushed down below the geometric trend line right here, bounced off the 8-day, and then a little bit of a push over the upper line. Spot with a nice recovery today too. A lot of these strong names had great recoveries today. So Spot got back into that horizontal channel there. Kroger with a bit of a move there. Not quite there yet, right? So it's a good candle, just not quite a breakout candle, right? We definitely want to see it get over there, right, and over there, right? So let's see if we can get some volume out of these guys here. But it has had a couple decent moves recently. NVTA. Decent little doji right there that got back to the 80 on that one, so that's always a good thing. And then PAAS. Yeah, it's always interesting, too, in the market rallies and then the metals rally with the market. This is sort of like a little bit of, I guess, a protection against some volatility. But decent bounce off of that one, off of the 80 today, too. Nice. J-Moss, you got mRNA calls, so that'll be a nice morning tomorrow. Fantastic. Good job. Rich, what's going on? I was expecting a dump at the end of the day. I know, right? Can you check out FSLY having a breakdown? Let's see. So FSLY, nasty in the morning, right? So horrible candle yesterday, right? Big push down, but again, not a lot of volume on that. Not as much volume as the prior day, right? And then big rally at the open. Then a lot of them flushed right on that second 15-minute candle day, but this one got a little more downside follow through on that one, and then they bought the dip, right? So just a decent dip buy right there. Bit of a doji day today. Kind of holding a couple of these levels right here. So see how that holds. But again, at this point, you got to wait till a break below these levels right here. Kind of in a trend box right now. So just kind of see how that holds going in. Right, if we get a high volume close below those levels, it might start to work its way down. Right, a true trend shift. But otherwise, it may continue to plow its way up, and we'll just shift that trend line back over. So good stuff. Yeah, the orb code on TOS, yeah, it's in the public domain. So yeah, just DM me, send me a message on Twitter, and I'll hook you up. Elliot, what's going on? Hey, from Brooklyn, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Bagash, what's going on? Rock, not Roku. We want rock. Yeah, so rock today. Pretty good bounce off the cloud right there. Not as much volume as I'd like to see for a breakout, but decent candle. Right, doesn't mean that just because it didn't have the volume doesn't mean that price didn't go up, right? So, but in terms of whether or not we want to hold it, right, that's kind of an important factor, right? So nice breakout right there. Let's see if we can get some follow through over today's highs. Amgen, we're going to see some interesting gaps tomorrow, right? We're going to see, a lot of these ones that are strong, that need the corona relief, like they're going to be doing really well, like the airlines, the CCLs, right, that could still hold up. Amgen, so watch some of the biotech. Some will be okay, they'll move in harmony with it, some will pull back. This is a tough one right here. There's a good recovery candle on it, a little less volume. The spreads are all over the place after hours, so just be careful with that one. ALGN, a huge breakout candle right there, almost closed above these pivot highs right here, but really close. So again, at this point here, it looks like it's working on a cup and handle type pattern. So it needs good volume today. It needs a little bit more work. Of course, it's got earnings coming up too, so just be careful there too. SE, decent lower shadow right there. Let's see if we can give a good candle yesterday and get you back over those trend lines and maybe turn into kind of a smaller morning star reversal type style. But a little bit rough right here. Watch the lows. Right, it could be just hanging on there with a hanging man. So just be careful with that one. And then ABT. Earnings coming up pretty soon. Holding a bunch of levels right here. Again, that big candle right there, low volume. So just a little bit of caution on that too. Rocky, what's going on? Glue. Let's take a look. Decent bounce, right? Bounce off the cloud in the 50-day. And then move back above the 8-day. So again, quick shorting opportunities, guys. But that's why we call it short, because you don't want to be at that long. SDC. Doing okay there, back under its 200-day, so a little bit didn't really participate in any of the rallies today, but just kind of hung in there with a blah candle. But it's funny, even a small 200-day can serve as resistance. And SDC, right, we looked at, and then Wriggle. Again, huge move today, just crazy on that one, amazing. Mike, what's happening? How are you? Yeah, good to see you. So let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla was a huge move today, guys. Again, yesterday's candle was just ridiculous. It was more than the entire S&P, or the range of the entire S&P of all time, right? So huge triangle move today, and unfortunately, they broke that triangle after hours, making it a breakout that you can't catch with options, right? But a nice move up here. Let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. I mean, it's up 50 points here, so we'll see if they get some more strength into that. And then Amazonia. So let's see how that one's going here. So a little bit choppy here today. This one had a really choppy candle, guys. So it gave a decent move up right here, and then it's just chop all day. Couldn't give a breakout at all. A little bit of a move at the end of the day. Okay? Good stuff. All right. So, appreciate it, Mike. Elliot, let's take a look. Yeah, so DKNG. So we modified we got a little more accurate here on our trend line yesterday. So we did hold the trend line. We got a nice pop on that one. I actually like that one going into tomorrow. I'm going to add that to the bullish game plan for Wednesday, if you guys can believe tomorrow's Wednesday already. So yeah, I really like that bounce off of that. I like the increased volume. It looks like it's got some decent room to go on that. So that's looking pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. Penn. Again, a lot of these casinos up after hours. It's not really doing anything stellar on the daily chart. Beyond, nasty day yesterday, but remember we talked about we had the cloud of support in this prior level right here. Right, so we did hold that for now. So let's see if that ends up being some sort of low volume pullback. We got major trend line right here. and then not too much else going on. We're kind of below these levels. This thing is just really, really choppy, sloppy right now. And then pins. Let's take a look. Pins with a decent recovery day, but couldn't get above its 8 day. Had a rough day yesterday, but on low volume. So this is definitely one we're looking at. Just continue to check. Open gap right here, trend line right here. Let's see if we can pull back to the trend line, give us some move. And that's it. Good job. Thanks, Elliot. Appreciate it. Sunil, what's going on? AMD. Yeah, decent bounce off the cloud right there in the former Geo line. So let's see if I can get any follow through on that one. It's up about 20 cents after hours today. So see if I can hold that going into tomorrow. ATVI. Again, nice recovery on that one too. Nasty candle yesterday, decent gap down for the overnight traders, and then they bought the dip on that one on that whoops reversal style. FDX. Chop, still chopping. The 8 day finally caught up to it, so let's see if it finally starts moving again after that. Caterpillar again, huge move today. Just watch it's running into geometric support here from the prior highs. Right there. Okay, this guy. So just be careful with that. It came right into that. So we really need some more follow through on that one. I'm not sure Cat's the one to do it unless it's got something major going on. Walmart decent, right? So nasty pullback yesterday, right? It was actually a lower volume pullback yesterday, and then today inside day as it bounced off of that prior geometric line. Good stuff. Appreciate it. Gio, what's going on? Costco. Let's take a look. Yeah, you got a couple down names on there. Dow was trying to Costco with a nice recovery from the buy that recovered a lot of that range today. So that's awesome. Triple M, big move today too. So a rare move for Triple M, right? So got back up to its 200-day on that one. IBM, again, Dow was pretty strong. The Dow was pretty strong today. So nice bounce off of that kind of cloud area in the ADMA on that one. LMT, definitely keep an eye on this one. Big inside day today. Increased tension in South China Sea, so any type of war type tension stuff, this one definitely starts to get some interest, right? So it had a decent move up today and held the prior doji lows, so that's good. Johnson & Johnson trying to break out of that huge bull flag area right there, and let's see what kind of follow through that gets. It's got earnings coming up pretty soon. And then Pepsi, earnings not too long ago, but it finally got above the 200-day. Again, now at this point here, I really just want to see it, clear 138 with some volume and see if we can get some movement to the upside. It's a tricky trader. Manny, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I hope you're doing great too. Twitter, let's take a look. So Twitter, red candle yesterday, nasty pullback, increased volume, and then they just kind of held it in today and they worked it up a little bit into the close. So let's see if we can get some follow through the upside on that one. Square, it's holding on to its bump line, so that's good. Bullish, still proving otherwise still. And Nvidia, again, same thing here. So it got a little bit close to its upper trend line, but not quite. So still bullish, still proving otherwise. Good stuff. Sahil, what's going on? Amazonias, let's take a look. Bit of a pullback right here, lower shadow, right? So today was a choppy day for Amazon. It's actually still choppy after market too. So it had an epic run off after we consolidated to our upper trend line right here, and now it's just kind of doing its thing, right? So just be careful with Amazon here, and the spreads have just been abominable on it. So just be careful with that one. And then Baba, yeah, decent little move. It held its ADMA there, so that's good. So just again, a lot of caution on these names, as the tensions with China continue to increase. Mr. Fishbone, what's going on? Like letting me know there's here. The FOMO is real. I know, right? So how do you know when to swing a stock like mRNA? Well, mRNA, right? Is we talked about it. A couple things on mRNA, right? So definitely started to get some big volume, right? Yesterday was a huge day, right? So members, we day traded this one yesterday. Why? Because I had huge news, right? We got big volume in, right? News is real, right? So they're talking about adding it to the NASDAQ 100, right? So that was big news, got some big volume. That gave a nice move up, held its ADMA for a long time, right? Today, just kind of, choppy, sloppy, right? But what do we like about that? Anytime you get something with news and good volume like this, that's huge volume. It's the biggest volume it's had in a very long time in a breakout candle. Big upper shadows is dangerous, but it's one of those, kind of, cheapo, not cheap, but one of those crazy volatile stocks. But what we did today was we chopped around, but we had this nice inside candle at the upper end of the range. I'm not saying it's a guarantee it's going to go up, right? But but we like these, right? This shows that it's building up a lot of energy at the prior highs, right? Sometimes we can see a little bit more chop on those. We like to trade those to the upside depending where we move, right? But it just gave that extra energy on that one today. But a lot of folks were long on it from the other day when it got on the NASDAQ and just kind of hanging into it. So definitely getting a reward on that one today. So swinging is tough. There's no doubt about it. It's a little bit trickier than day trading, right? Because you got to wait. you gotta wait. You don't have that instant, knowledge of whether you're right or not, right? So you gotta hope, there's no bad news overnight and all that stuff. And sometimes you get something like this with that nice kind of, we call it a jack in the box. Some people call it a crouching tiger, and sometimes you can get in those. I like to see those with increased volume, but it's rare on an inside day. So good stuff. The Nest. We got a nice move up there. Remember, this is on Ford. We got a little bit of a pause day yesterday, so a bit of a doji sandwich up here on Ford. So again, they're liking that Bronco. Pins, just be careful. This one, it's still kind of closed below the 80 MA on that one. So just be careful. ABT again, same thing. Decreased volume on that one, and STM. Again, a lot of open interest in this one on the call side. So again, I have no idea what it's up to. I have no idea what they do. Microelectronics. So anyway, ADR. Always be careful with that one. Prone to crazy gaps. John, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so MRA we just talked about DENN for Denny's. This one actually might rally tomorrow. So I had a couple red days here in a row. Let's see if it's doing after hours. Yeah, it's already up 50 cents over hours. So this is a lot of these stocks that are heavily affected: restaurants, casinos, airlines, cruise lines that are heavily affected by the corona news. Right? May see a gap up tomorrow based on the Moderna news. So see if that gives a gap, especially if it gaps above today's highs. It would have been nicer if it closed at the lows to be even better. But anyway, good stuff there. And then Macy's, gave a decent move after hours. So it got really, really tight here. And let's get some of this data to pull up right here for us. Okay, good. And up a little bit after hours. So see if that gives a move tomorrow too. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. UPS. UPS and FedEx both just dealing with this gap. The ADMA caught up yesterday on this one, and let's see what it does, right? So it got into the gap and then reversed pretty hard off of it. So let's see how that one goes into tomorrow. Win. Inside day today, but again, looks like it's gapping up about 4 points after hours. So let's see if I get some follow through on the positive news from Moderna. And then Costco, great reclaim of the days here. So let's see if we can get over this basically this fresh all-time high. Right, if we can get over that, right, may see momentum move over, we close above it, may continue to work its way up. Welcome to Costco, I love you. So good stuff. So Rob, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, DPZ, again, earnings coming up this week. Decent reversal off of yesterday's shooting star, so let's see if they can get a little bit of earnings run on that one. DXCM. Decent bounce off of the 50-day right here. Came back into the range, right? Little whoops, but it's still below those prior geometric lines. So see if we can try to break out of there again. I'd like to see some volume on it. Microsoft, perfect pullback here to the upper trend line. Boom, and then a bounce. You gotta love it. Good stuff. Ramesh, what's going on? AYX. Okay, yeah, software took a hit yesterday, but they kind of came back into range a little bit today. So, again, just keep an eye on it, see if we get some follow through. Not a lot of volume on it, but just kind of rallied the market there. It bounced off of its trend line there that you saw. Okta, again, decent bounce over the prior geometric level right there today. Decent volume. Not great volume, but decent. And then AMD just kind of chopping around. So, Rob, yeah, SPCE, let's take a look. Great trade for us the other day. It kind of pulled back here, back into the range, so we'd like to see this get over those prior levels. Right now, it's back in the chop zone. Definitely, traders, we're probably focusing on some other stuff today. Oil and energy was strong today too, by the way. Yeah, and then Tesla, of course, nice push up there off of the that huge bump line that we had, and up about 50 points after hours. So let's see if we get some more fall today. So it was a very, very choppy day on it today. And then Shopify, right? So it was nasty candle yesterday too, but it left the lower shadow, right? So we would say how it holds these levels. It held those levels pretty well, right? Nasty move down move at the open, then it got back into its 15-orb range today. So good stuff. Mookie, what's going on? Good to see you. NVDA. Yep. So NVIDIA, nice bounce off of the upper trend line zone. Not a perfect tag of it, but they bought the dip off of it, and they closed with some good volumes here over the ADMA. So that's a good thing on it. Clubs, what's going on? Pawn. Let's take a look and see how that is. Pawn Brokers Exchange. I'm not getting any data here. Not sure why. Let's move over to Pepsi. Okay, so Pepsi with a couple of shadows right there. Let's see if we get some volume on that one and get over this congestion zone. And then SE. Again, super epic, strong for a very long time, and today struggling to get back above the upper trend line and the 80 MA. This has some work to do. It needs to really, if it pushes up here, right, you got your Morningstar reversal and it could work its way back up. But just be careful here. That 80 MA is starting to curl down. We're still under the upper trend line. Could be a hanging man right there, so just watch those lows too. Okay? Good stuff. Bagish HD. I know. How about that one? Let's take a look. Triple inside week last week. Where's our weekly chart? There we go. Triple inside week, still making a move off of that from today. So let's see if it gets any more follow through in that one. Obviously, we got a little bit here after hours. Some good stuff there. But again, nice breakout candle right here. Increased volume, held the 80 MA all day. You gotta love it. Rinse and repeat. Yeah, good breakout. Yeah, exactly. Nice. Retest yesterday's puke and boom today. Right, exactly. Beautiful. Jeffrey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. CMG, let's take a look. Choppy sloppy here today, but again, it's amazing to see CMG at as a $1,200 stock. Again, we still have our fib fan lines up on this one, so again, a nice bounce off the fib fan line, just non-stop with these. So pretty cool stuff there. Good. Yeah, the Nest, Mickey D is very, very strong. So strong move on that one. We're going to add that to the bullish radar. I don't think I have anything to add to my short radar today. If everything's gapping up like this. So nice move there. VRM. Maybe VRM. Yeah, VRM. Nice pause there right there. It still held the 15-hour high. Let's see if that can continue to hold. We'll put that one on the short radar for tomorrow. Could be a potential doji sandwich to the downside, which would be pretty wild. And LVGO. Again, a lot of these got great bounces from yesterday. So decent move off the 80 MA right there. So a little less volume, but still it's doing its thing. FMCI. Acquisition company there, bounce off his 50-day on that one. CGC, a couple of the pot stocks were strong today, but again, really not a move. Couldn't break over the highs of the day and pull back. AMAT, yep, back over the 80 MA on that one. Some decent volume there. So see if we got any follow through at NVTA. Yeah, hung in there. Pure doji at the 80 MA. Wild stuff. Keith, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. WGO, a little Winnebago action on that one. Yeah. Nice bounce off the 50-day and closed over the 80 MA. Not a lot of volume on it, though. Just a little bit of caution on that one. And then, of course, PII. There we go. So, yeah, a little bit of a bounce on Polaris here. A nice bounce off the 80 MA there. Low volume, so just a little caution on that one. Nike. Schnikes. Just be careful, though. When the 80 MA is kind of, pointing down right here. So it's holding its 50-day, but if it loses that, watch out. So just be careful with that. And then KBH. A little bit of home building action right here. So, yeah, decent move with KBH right there. Kind of pulled its way up there. A little Home Depot action type stuff. But, see how that holds. Even keep working its way up there. Walmart. Again, pull back to the geometric line. Nice bounce off of that one today. Left you with an inside day of the Nest. And then HD, of course, some strength on that one. MJ Amazon. Amazonius, let's take a look. Again, yeah, big pullback off yesterday's huge bearish engulfing candle. Got some nice downside follow through, and then it chopped and then kind of worked its way back up a little bit at the end of the day today. So let's see if we can get over today's highs and get a little move off of that one. Micro futures at the trend line already. Nice. I like it. Let's see if we get some action on that one. D-Pen, yeah, my pleasure. Heather, good evening. Great job today. You're awesome. Abhishek, what's going on? BYND, let's take a look. Yeah, nasty down candle yesterday. We're just in this nasty chop zone right here. So just be really, really careful with it. It's right at the cloud, and it's about to get into it, and then who knows where it's going to go from there. Just, we got a couple, top of the cloud, bottom of the cloud, upper trend line right here. Beyond needs a lifeline. MJ Google. All-time highs yesterday, nasty pullback, right? It took so long to get to all-time highs, and then it just kind of fell over once it got there. Pretty amazing stuff, though. The next, FSLR, yeah, some of these sectors have been so strong. These solar sectors have been so strong. Great breakout today, great move. Amazing stuff. And then BJ's, yeah, big move up there too, guys. Just again, this was one of our forever bullish names. Really, really cool stuff. Bagish, URI triple inside week, missed the entry. Yeah, that's a tough one to trade. Don't worry about it. That's a tough one to trade. Home Depot a little bit better, right? This one kind of still gave you a gap up on this. I can get the data here. 1 second. Yeah, triples a nice little push up on that one here. You know, a lot of it came from. Let's go back to the candles right here. Right, see this gap up right here. So it's tricky, right? But still some strength on it. So definitely ones to keep on. Those triple insides, right? Especially on the weekly chart. Definitely keep on the entry. It's all good. And then Golden Nest. Let's take a look. GOL. So just kind of still chopping around down there. Lulu. This one got really consolidated there. Nasty candle yesterday. Let's see how it did today. Came back in the range. So it's back in the consolidation range. The Nest. Melly. Yep, decent move right there. Still holding its fib fan line, right? So watch out for the ADMA. It's starting to pull back right there. And then Mookie CWH. Nice. We had Winnebago tonight. We got Camping World tonight. So good. Good. I guess everybody's either looking to go on vacation or they're prepping. So either way, but big push off of that one. Interesting how the volume's been going down on it. And then SGH. Yeah, decent hold of the candle on that one. See if it gets any activity off of UNH's earnings tomorrow. And then clubs, let's say like Pan W. Decent hold of the ADMA on that one too. Also, tends to be a tricky on trades. We're on kind of this macro head and shoulders, right? Shoulder, head, shoulder. So let's see if we can get some sort of breakout candle through there with some volume. And then Etsy. Yeah, a little rough right there. Just be careful on this one. Really looks like it's trying to change trend here. But, you know, I have a couple major lines on this one, right? We got this, right? Then we got this, right? So we're right at it, right? So let's see how that holds right here. It's not really, truly breaking down out of these levels right here. It's kind of breaking down out of the that steep bump parabolic line, but just see how it holds this trend line. So it could be good. Good. Well, good stuff, guys. Well, really appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Ooh, good session here tonight. So, earnings season is with us. So tomorrow we got Goldman Sachs and UNH, kind of the main ones on the radar. So let's see how that plays out. Definitely pay attention to those pre-market levels. Keep an eye on your 15 orb levels, and then keep an eye on your daily, as we're talking about a little bit more here this week. So, looking forward to talking about that stuff more on this topic here tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great evening. Thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. We do this every market night, so it's a good place to be. So you get the notifications, see us there. You can also follow us on Twitter if you're joining us from YouTube. We got our link in the description, as well as our website too. If you want to jump into our options group, we've got a private Twitter and a brand new Discord. We're online all day, looking at stocks and looking at ideas, and we also go live for the open and close. So definitely check that out too. So I hope everybody has a good rest of your evening. Thank you again for tuning in. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys